everyone, and welcome to Geared Up, the Profoto live shopping show. So I'm Lisa, and together with me today is Chris Fain, as usual. So what you can do here is purchase straight from the live stream. So you can purchase either there or there. This is dependent on your device and if you're on profoto.com. If you're not, please head on over there and you can get the full experience. So, and we also have the one-to-one. I think that my colleague Anders should have posted in the chat the link to the one-to-one, so you can talk to either him or Gustav, and they know all about our products, so ask away. So, on with today's show. It's using the soft light reflector, more commonly known as the beauty dish. So let's get over to Chris and shoot.
What's up, party people? It's Chris from Profoto, and today I'm here with my cohort Kate. She's right there, manning the controls until she gets in front of the computer, and we're talking about how to make a really good one light beauty portrait with a beauty dish. That's this bad boy right here. This is our soft light reflectors, as we call it.
That was so loud.
Did it gong right into the thing? That's awesome.
We got a lot of likes for that one.
Oh, we should, yeah. Either that or everyone's like, ah!
Right.
But we're going to be talking about the beauty dish today. This is the silver one. We're going to be using the white beauty dish, but I've just got this one up, so I have to take the modifier up and down. So let's talk about, first and foremost, our different variations. So we have them in a silver configuration and a white configuration. Really, really cool stuff. We also have them in a collapsible setup with our OCF beauty dishes, which we'll talk about tomorrow. Tomorrow is kind of the day where we get into, what's the difference between the white and the silver, what's the difference between the OCF versus the hard metal soft light reflector. And so we'll talk about that a little bit more tomorrow, but those are our variations. So we have them both in white and silver, and we have a collapsible option, and then we have the hard option that's going to be more for like your pro heads or like things that use the halogen modeling lamp. That's not to say that you can't use these on our LED lights like a B10, B10 Plus, B1, B1X, stuff like that, but these can handle the heat of those hotter halogen modeling lamps, which is really cool. So next, let's talk about kind of the construction of a beauty dish and what it does and what makes it really special. So the idea behind a beauty dish is you're hitting this deflector plate. So it's an indirect light source. So the light is hitting this deflector plate, it's bouncing all around the beauty dish, and it's giving you like this really nice crisp light, but it's soft because you want to make sure that you're using it and you generally do use it in close proximity to your subject, because this deflector plate makes the light pretty inefficient. So because the light has to come out, hit this deflector plate, bounce back around the modifier itself, and then hit your subject, you're consuming a lot of power. And that brings us into, again, working distances. So I think I've done a Facebook Live on this in the past, but I don't like seeing people use beauty dishes at like 10, 15 feet away from their subject. Like, once again, do whatever you want to do lighting wise, but understand kind of what you're giving up. So first and foremost, at the distance that you're working, a beauty dish is, again, incredibly inefficient. So because the light has to hit a deflector plate, bounce back out, and then hit your subject, you're consuming a lot of power. So once you start backing your flash up, especially if you're using like a battery-powered flash and you're trying to conserve flashes, it's not going to do the best job of that. Also, these things, if you think about when we talk about softness, it's always the size of the modifier in relationship to the subject. So the size of the beauty dish never changes. But as you start to back it away from your subject, in relationship to me, it's getting smaller. And so once you start working with this thing at like, 10 feet, it's not going to give you that snap and that pop that a beauty dish gives you, and it's going to be really inefficient. So once you start working at those bigger distances, honestly, I'd probably choose a different modifier. If you're looking for something kind of soft but indirect, go umbrella. It's going to be a little bit better. Or if you're looking for something with a snap, use like a Magnum reflector. These bad boys are meant to be used in for me, around a 3 foot to 4 foot working distance at its max. So you want to keep a soft light reflector close, pointed right at your subject. You want to try to keep the deflector plate So I don't know if you actually kind of see what I'm talking about, but you always want the deflector plate to be pointing at the person. You want to be careful of how it's kind of tilted so you're not getting any stray light from around the deflector plate. So always try to kind of either use the continuous lamp of your light and position the shadow of the deflector plate right where you need it, or kind of walk around and make sure that you're not seeing any light from the edges. So good things to know there. So once again, work relatively close, 3 to 4 feet at the max, because it's an inefficient modifier, but it is very snappy, it's very contrasty, and it's soft, and it's beautiful. And you're going to see that right now when we take a photo. So what is our setup today? So we've got a B1X up top with the dome attachment. I like using the dome attachment with the soft light reflectors, like the hard metal reflectors, just because it has a stopper plate inside of it. And you can't push so with the OCF beauty dishes, you have the option to push the light closer to the deflector to make sure that you're not getting any stray light. You don't necessarily have that option with the original soft light reflector, so I like to use the dome with it so it kind of throws the light everywhere. So white beauty dish, soft light reflector, dome attachment on a B1X, which is, the dome attachment works with the B1, B1X, D1, D2, all that good stuff. And then below, as a little fill underneath, we have a white silver beauty dish. We'll talk about what you can do with this and how you control this, but this is a really, really good way of taking a lot of that light that's coming from the beauty dish and bringing it back up so maybe you're not getting such deep shadows on the face. Once again, creative decision. If you want some more of that contrast, some more of those shadows, you can have that, but ideally, no contrast, or lower that contrast, try to get that light into your subject's eyes. That being said, we're gonna take some photos. Sweet. What's up, Kate? Say hello to everybody. I really should give you a microphone, right?
Nah, they can hear me just fine.
Yeah, you'll probably be over there going like, Lisa, be ready.
I know.
Coming
exactly.
up. I'm like,
I forgot to turn it. Exactly. Here you go.
cool. Oh, yep. Got.
That's good.
Cool, so give me a little bit of hair to the front. And so once again, we just want to make sure, and I'll turn on the continuous light on this bad boy so you can see what I'm talking about. But if you look closely, I don't know how obvious it's going to be, but you can take this light and then you can kind of just move it around and see where the deflector plate is. And I can see that for the most part, it's right where I want it to be there. So I'm going to lock it into place. And I'm going to leave the continuous light on because I want her pupils to get a little bit smaller. That way we can see the blue of those eyes. Yeah, is it? Are we a little off?
Come a little there. That's
perfect.
that way. I don't
And then if you have a
stray light you're talking about.
yeah, stray
I
light.
learned something.
Yeah, you're a photographizer now.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm just gonna hang tight. One second. I'm gonna knock this hair off your shoulder, right there. I know this is a demo for demo's sake, but you might as well, do the best that you can do, right? So, what we're going to be doing is photographing Kate's face right now. I'm going to make sure that this beauty dish is... All right, I think I actually need to raise the beauty dish up, but just a hair. It's kind of in the shot. And so you want to try to keep it, I try to keep the beauty dish at the top of the frame, just so you can, just so you know. So, looking right now, reposition my camera so I get the top of Caitlin's head in there. Cool. So I try to keep the beauty dish right at the top of the frame, just so once again it's kind of getting it's hitting the subject's eyes where I want, and then that way the reflector is also nice and low. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. Really, really nice stuff. Let's pop off another one really fast. Come back here. Beautiful. Go nose this way just a little bit. Give me a little shoulder pop. Nose back to me a little bit. 3, 2, 1. Lovely. So cool. Really easy stuff. So let's stay here for just a second so we can talk about this. So depending on how much reflection you want back in the scene, you can vary the height of your reflector. So let's drop this down a little bit. Say if maybe we want some more shadows to come into the shot, or if you need a little more working room, if you're shooting a little bit wider, you can bring this down. And the cool thing is if you need to get this a little bit lower, because once again maybe you're shooting some half body stuff, you can flip this over and use the silver side, and because that's more efficient, it's gonna bring that back into the shot. Also, if you just want silver in general, the snap from the silver is really, really nice. Sometimes it can be a little overpowering. You just have to kind of play with it and see if it's the look that you're going for. So Let's do a comparison shot with the reflector down a little bit. Here we go. 3, 2, there we go. 3, 2, 1. Lovely. 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Cool. And then again, if you decide that you want the snap of the silver, should I put the silver there just in case?
Yeah, let's flip it.
Just so you can kind of see what it looks like when it gets punchy with the silver. There we go. Yeah, perfect. So let's just throw the silver in there just for funsies. Perfect. And you're going to see it's going to be quite different on that reflection, but it should look very nice. There we go. I feel like I moved something. I can see the bottom of the light again. Give me just 1 second. No, not that. This light creep down or something maybe. I didn't lock it into place very well, which would be bad. There we go. Cool. I always get nervous, especially like with things boomed out and stuff, because I have a tendency to like just wham! Yeah. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. You can see the silver pops way back up there. I think that was pretty good, Kate. Let's. I'm going to pull my computer in there. Let's look at the 3 shots, and we'll call it. Let me roll this bad boy out of the way. Reflectors and lights and reflectors. Let's go. I'm just going to boom this thing up and out. Yeah. Ideally, I would have turned that off first. There we go. Perfect. And then kick it. We're back. Let's go. All right. Hang tight. Once like I boom things out and around and whatnot, like there's so many cables and stuff everywhere. There we go. I think we're in business now, right?
Yep. Perfect. Let's do it.
So let's go. So you can see these 3 shots. So once again, this is all about the flavor that you. Oh, is everything good? Oh, the camera's right in the shot. Good call. This little cable right here is acting. Yeah. Let's just pick this up for a second. Cables everywhere. Everything needs to go wireless. That'd be sick. Cool. So let's just talk about the 3 shots and what we did and how it changed a little bit. So this first shot, we had the beauty dish once again just out of the frame, and then we had the reflector just out of frame. So everything was pretty well boxed in. Typical clamshell light setup. But that white was just giving us a nice little fill under here, so you can see the shadows are really, really soft, not super contrasty at all. And then we dropped that reflector down, probably not a ton, enough to make a huge difference. Honestly, what we probably could have done is just taken the reflector away altogether, so you can see what it looks like whenever the contrast drops out completely. But you can see that here, there's starting to be a little more darkness and the shadow under the nose. So let's see if we can see too. Around the neck, I mean, it's relatively similar. I think it was bouncing around. But then we jump into like the silver reflector. Once again, it pops really hard. Look at the difference in the catch light in the eye with the silver, right? Versus the white. The white is there. You can see it really, really. You know what? Let's do this. Let me zoom in so you can see what I'm looking at. It's just eyeball. You'll be okay. But if you, that's not okay. Famous last words. Okay, so cool. So you can see this here. See how there's the reflector there? Whatever, Kate, get over it. But there's a reflector there. And it's subtle. Whereas you start jumping into like the silver, you can see that hard reflection right there. So it just depends on what you want. Do you want the snap coming back from the silver? You can flip that around and do that. So using a beauty dish and then having a little bit of fill underneath is really, really nice. It's a great basic beauty setup, a great way to use the beauty dish. You can use this for beauty photography. You can use it for headshots. It's great either way. So hopefully you enjoyed what we talked about today. Once again, we talked about the variations, silver and white, OCF, and our collapsible and our hard reflectors, which we'll dive into the looks of them tomorrow. Pretty easy stuff. Keep your working distance 3 to 4 feet at the maximum. And just remember, it's not a very efficient modifier, so you don't want to back it up too far. In the meantime, if you have any questions about any of our products, if you want to talk to someone with on one of our one-on-one sessions, I'm going to send it back to Lisa in Sweden for a breakdown. Peace out, everybody.
Hi everyone again. So just as Chris said, get on over to the one-to-one expert. It's Gustav or Anders today, and they're really nice and they will help you with all your products. So for tomorrow, it's about the difference between the OCF Beauty Dish and the Soft Light Reflector. So tune in tomorrow.
Guys, that was a good Tuesday.